We are Viltrum. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Hello and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and joining me is TJ.
Hello.
And Bill.
Hey, everyone.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Bill, I'm still a little uneasy and don't want to look out the window. Because for the last hour, you've just been telling us creepy stories.
Yeah, we've been telling ghost stories. There was a phenomenon at my parents' house where an EVP was recorded randomly, and it was the clearest thing I've ever heard. So we're pretty freaked out.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
TJ, you have to tell Bill what happened at work. And the listeners. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
So I'm a supervisor where I work, so obviously sometimes that unfortunately entails in my job description that I have to fire people and let them go. There was a guy who he's very unstable. We've known that he was unstable because he used to be ex-military. He clearly he suffers from PTSD. And when we gave him his final for attendance, he kind of freaked out and was kind of cussing people out and everything. Mm-hmm. It was kind of bad. We didn't let him go. We let him stay. We just sent him home for the day. However, he violated the attendance policy. We had to let him go. He did it again after his final, so that's, we got to let him go. So already gave security a heads up that we were going to be letting him go, and it turned out much worse than we even could have thought. So we pulled him into HR. We kind of, immediately he walked in freaking out. If you're just going to fire me, just F this place, whatever. I don't even want to hear it. F you guys. Tried to calm him down, tried to, go through the motions and explain everything to him. He eventually got up and walked out and was running away from us down the hallway, mother effing us, me and my boss's boss, who came into the room to HR because he heard all the screaming going on. Running away from us, ran into the locker room, vandalized the locker room, was pulling down shoe racks, turning the garbage can over. We had to get security. We had to get all 4 security guards. We're basically surrounding me and my boss, trying to get him out.
This guy's kind of like coming at you.
Yeah. So he kept gesturing toward me and saying that he's going to beat the shit out of me and all this other stuff. Finally get him out the door. We get him to his car in the front parking lot, but he's not moving. He's still sitting there. Security goes over to him and says, "If you don't leave now, we're going to call the cops." He's like, "Call the effing cops." So we did. And he backs up, sticks his head out the window, and he's mother effing us. Then he drives across the street, parks directly across the street from us, and he's screaming at us still. He refused to leave. He gets out of his car. He pops the hood of his car, grabs wires from his engine, and yanks them out of the hood of his car. He screams back at us and says, "Well, my car's broken down now. It doesn't look like I'm going anywhere." Still mother effing us. The police show up. They try to approach him. He takes his hoodie off and throws his hoodie at the police. He takes his shirt off, throws his shirt at the police. They end up finally calming him down. It took almost 2 hours for the tow truck to come, and they stood there with him the entire time. We do external hires on Tuesdays, so we have interviewees coming in and out of the building.
Seeing this guy.
And he's mother effing every one of these people coming in and out of our building. We had I work at a pharmaceutical company. We had customers in customer audits coming in, they were in there, and they were in the front conference room with wide open windows out to the police officers. They could see everything. It was really bad. It was an experience. I have to have a escort come walk me to my car every day for the rest of the week. What else? So does my boss and the HR representative. We have a banquet at a company banquet on Saturday. This Saturday that he was planning on going to. He has tickets to, and he has a hotel room there that night. And after we let him go the next day, he apparently posted on social media, "They'll be sorry when I show up at Winterfest." And then he took it down an hour later.
When is this? When is Winterfest?
This is Saturday.
This upcoming Saturday?
Yeah. So we have extra security guards. there. And
how crazy
not
is
only
that?
but the theme of Winterfest this year is masquerade, so everybody's wearing masks.
Oh my god. This is the beginning of a horror story.
Yeah.
It seriously is. That's terrifying. Oh man.
So that's my story.
Nothing really exciting happened to me like that.
Well, you have ghost stories. TJ just has
yeah.
disgruntled employees. So yeah, otherwise we talk about Invincible related stuff here on the Invincible podcast. You can email us. What's that?
Good segue.
Yeah. You can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You could go to our website at theinvinciblepodcast.com. Otherwise, we are the same guys that do the Oblivion Song podcast, which just wrapped up its very first year of issues, concluding its second arc. Mm-hmm. And in a couple weeks, we're going to be getting the 13th issue, which is going to be something all new. It looks completely different.
There's a lot of speculation. If you know what, if you haven't read it yet, or you have and maybe it didn't capture you, I feel like now would probably be a good time to just binge it and then start the new arc, because I feel like it's going to start
getting crazy.
Well, just start. You know what I mean? I just watched How I Trained Your Dragon 3. And the entire movie, up until the last half hour, I was waiting for the movie to start. I'm like, when is the story going to begin? It's just a lot of, know.
A lot of world building. At least as far as Oblivion Song goes, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I didn't really care for How I Trained Your Dragon 3 compared to the first two.
I liked it. I think it was my least of the least of the three movies, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. I thought it fit well with the trilogy.
I feel like they could have cut out at least an hour of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel like it's a good time to jump in and read it, not wait month to month.
Yeah, so if you're not reading Oblivion Song, check that out and listen to that podcast. We've got a bunch of news items to talk about, some big news items to talk about. Our main topic of the show is going to be doing a character discussion on Dinosaurus.
Finally!
And then we're going to be doing our Volume 7 for the Rereader series that we're doing. I can't believe we're up to Volume 7.
We're doing the Dinosaurus discussion before the reread?
Yeah, that's usually what we do. We usually do the topic and then wrap it up with the rereader.
Well, I hope we have about 4 hours, because
we're gonna
Dinosaurus is going to be, a big part.
We'll see. So as far as news item goes, before we get into some of the actual news items, I want to bring up the fact that TJ, you are going to C2E2.
Yep.
Correct? That is
Chicago Comic-Con. It's a March 23rd. 8th? No, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
My birthday weekend.
Oh, that's right, it is. Mm-hmm. Look at that. I'm still unsure. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I'm going. There's a chance that I'm going. I have to remind me to talk about it after the podcast. But so if you're going to C2E2, hit us up. Say hi to TJ, me, whoever else is going, and we'd love to chat. Other than that, let's see. It has been 1 year since the final issue has come out. That was February 14th, and 1 year since the interview with Robert Kirkman. And
3 years since we started this podcast.
That is coming up this month.
So it's March.
March 16th, yeah. I'm saying February 14th was the 1 year of the issue.
Yeah, but
that already passed.
We're doing 1 month podcast.
Oh, yeah. So between now and the next podcast will be our 3-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. Correct. Yep. 70 episodes. This is our 70th episode. Whenever I go on to SoundCloud or something like that, or scroll through, it's ridiculous thinking that we
you scroll and it just keeps going.
I can't believe it. There was an interview that came out shortly after our last episode by a website called ICV2, and there was just a little blurb that Kirkman said about the animated series and shows or movies. So they ask him in this interview what's going on with the adaptations of Invincible, and Robert Kirkman says they're both very much still in process. There's not any news I can discuss right now, unfortunately, but the animated Invincible series is deep into production. I'm reviewing animatics. We're working with overseas studios. We're very far into casting. There should be some big announcements coming up very soon, which, yeah.
We got.
Kirkman continues, while we don't have a set release date, or I can't publicly say the set release date just yet, I'm hoping that by the summertime we'll have a big marketing push that begins, and there will be a steady stream of advanced looks, cool reveals, and things leading up to the launch of that series. The movie is happening alongside the animated series. I'm in constant contact with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who are writing, producing, and directing that movie with myself and my team at Skybound. That's something that is absolutely ongoing, and things are looking really good. I couldn't be happier with what Seth and Evan are doing with the world. In some amount of time, there's going to be a lot of Invincible going on all over the place, which is really exciting for me. So yeah.
Regarding the movie, at New York Comic Con, he almost revealed something. He's like, I probably could tell you something, but I probably shouldn't. I'd get in trouble.
Which is interesting because I almost feel like that should have been.
That was so long ago.
I almost feel like that should have been the animated casting. You know what I mean?
But he was talking about the movie.
I know. Like I almost feel like that would have made more sense if he was talking about the animated series.
He's like, you're gonna hear, but don't worry about it. You'll hear that news very soon. Mm-hmm. That was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. I think had this interview not come out, I would start feeling like, we're getting to that point where
I'm frustrated.
I'm saying like, is it happening? Is it still happening?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I feel like after reading this, I'm feeling more confident is what I'm saying. Like, it should still be going on.
The thing that makes me feel less confident is him saying, and I don't know if I'm taking this out of context or not, but him saying, producing and directing the movie with myself and my team at Skybound, that's something that is absolutely ongoing.
Yeah. That's, to me, very positive to me.
Really?
That's like, hey,
absolutely
it's
ongoing.
Still happening.
Ongoing doesn't seem like anything's getting finished. It just seems like
but
it's like an ongoing process.
Honestly, if they were filming, it's still ongoing. I feel like ongoing is like, this is just the movie industry. Like, things are slow. He told us that himself. Like, things take time. These are very drawn out things. And the fact that, like, honestly, we found, when was the movie announced? Almost 2 years ago now?
That's not a positive thing to say.
No, I'm saying, like, that's been it's been a long
honestly,
time. I feel like if we hadn't heard as much as we have, like, assurances from Kirkman, then I'd start to be like, maybe it's just not going to work out.
I don't know. I'm really frustrated. Like, I think that they, like, come on, like, you need to give us something. Like, fuck, man. Like,
I feel like they could have done completely without announcing the movie 2 years ago, and it seems like they're doing very well with the show in terms of like timing and everything like that. They already have all the casting is announced pretty much.
I think that's something that like some studios do. Remember, like video games used to do that, and some still do. It's like, hey, this game's announced, and then 5 years later, it starts to come out. Whereas lately,
Guardians or the Guardian, what was that game?
Oh, Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian. Yeah.
I feel like video game industry is starting to get better with that, where it's like, hey, this game's coming out, it's out in 4 months. You know what I mean? And
I think that's the thing that I'm more frustrated with. Not the fact that we're not getting announcements, because I understand they got to go through the motions. There's reasons why they can't tell us certain things. But you shouldn't have announced it when you did.
I think Skybound did that because they're a relatively smaller company, and it's like, hey, look at this. We've got this deal in the works, whereas other studios or other companies might be like, we don't need to make that announcement. We have our investors, we have our producers, we have all these things in motion. That doesn't matter. Think about Kill the Minotaur. Think about all the other Skybound movies that they've announced that are in the pipeline now. Anything. They're being produced, but they're showing to investors like, hey, look at how big we are. Look at how much stuff we have going on that's in the works.
What I think is frustrating is, why the fuck can't you just tell us something? Like, just tell us how far along you are. Like, we have a script, or the script is finished and now we're working on casting. What's the point?
They said that the script is
I think
written.
They said the script was done.
Yeah, it was done. They told us that.
I honestly feel like this is the moment, like this is the timeline in the movie. And again, we don't know anything about this industry. I feel like this is the time in which there's the most up in the air. Once like right now they're probably figuring out casting, whether or not,
so they can't announce anything because anything could change.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the movie could still be scrapped.
Yeah. I think anything can happen, so they don't want to say anything else.
Do you think they're kind of biding their time and waiting to really go full throttle on this until the show comes out?
Well, no matter what, the movie's coming out after the show. No matter what.
Do you think
that they're stalling to see how well the show does?
Right. They don't want to invest all this money and time into producing this movie.
Well, you know what's interesting about all that is that the person making the movie is also in the animated series, which we're going to get to. Which we're going to get to.
When was announced, we were like, fucking duh, of course. Why didn't we think about that? But I hate the rumor of who he could be playing. I fucking hate it.
The other thing that was in that that interview was him talking about how the animated series, obviously it's very far into casting, the announcement that was announced. There is a set release date. He just can't say it yet. Hopefully in the summer there'll be a big marketing push and we'll start seeing things. That's really cool. That's what we want for the movie. Him to say, hey, in the summer this is when you start seeing things, which means obviously that's not.
What did we say in terms of release? I said the earliest. Didn't I say
you said this fall?
This
upcoming
fall.
Yeah, and I think I said spring right after that
next
year. Like this time next year, a year from now, is when I think we'll see it.
I think it's gonna be fall. I really truly do.
Sooner than that. Well,
no, this fall.
Well, you're wrong because in the casting announcement they say 2020.
No, I meant next fall.
TJ, do you remember what you thought it was?
Like when we originally talked?
Before the casting.
He didn't even think it was next year.
No, you said that it was going to be fall of 2018. I said it was going to be January
19.
Or 20. No, you said I'm talking originally. You said fall of 2018.
Oh. No, I didn't.
I said January of 2019, and you said spring. You thought like March or April of 2019.
Wow. Yeah,
that's what the original was. Yeah,
we'll go back and listen to that.
We need a fact checker. Like, wasn't there? There was a podcast that we listened to that always had somebody that
there
like,
was on
fact checked.
Podcast Beyond had
Podcast Beyond. Yeah, Podcast Beyond.
All right, so let's get into the voice announcement. The voice casting announcement. So last episode we recorded on a Wednesday. And then Thursday happened.
We recorded on a Monday last time.
Oh, you're right. We did because I was leaving for Florida.
Disney, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So here I am. I think it was Thursday.
Yeah, it was.
We had a huge blizzard in Buffalo, and I'm sitting there. My flight's getting canceled. I'm trying to do the blog post for like the show notes for the episode for the podcast website, and then Skybound and Invincible, they're like teasing things back and forth, like winking at each other on Twitter and everything, and it ended up being the announcement of the voice cast.
Invincible animated series cast revealed.
Which, by the way, I'm sitting there editing the podcast in which we talk about the rumored cast release. And by the time that episode went up, we were wrong. We're not wrong, but like there was more to the story.
There was more, but also
so you got
less.
our early leaked impressions, and now you're going to get our official impressions.
So the definitive, which this article came out. Let's see. It says 4 weeks ago, but that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe it was
been a month ago.
Wow. So old news to anybody who is a diehard fan and follows all this stuff, but. If you didn't know, so we're super stoked to announce that your animated Mark Grayson is none other than the Walking Dead alum Steven Yeun. Mm-hmm. He plays Glenn. Played Glenn. Playing his father, Omni-Man, is J.K. Simmons.
So that's like the first real drop. So that leaked.
We knew that.
That leaked thing. J.K. Simmons wasn't on there.
Was not on that at all.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't on there.
So
who was? Who did we have as Omni-Man?
Either Chris Diamantopoulos or like there was just other random people.
Stephen Yeun was on there.
Stephen Yeun was.
But Zachary Quinto was
Zachary Quinto is not on this list.
But he's not on this list, yeah. But that doesn't mean that he's not on
because of other reasons. Okay. So J.K. Simmons, do we want to talk about that for a minute, or do you want to just keep going down the list?
Let's just keep going down the list. Okay. So joining them will be Sandra Oh. Mm-hmm. So she is from Grey's Anatomy, I think, right?
Yep.
Seth Rogen.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Gillian Jacobs?
Gillian
Jacobs. Yep. Andrew Rennell. Zazie Beetz, who played Domino
in Deadpool
2, who's
she
awesome.
also played Azula in...
Wrong.
Who else? Who was it?
That
Who
was
am I
someone
thinking
else on this list.
I thought it was Zazie Beetz.
Mark Hamill.
Holy shit! Mark Hamill.
But Mark Hamill played Lord Ozai.
Yes.
Fire Lord Ozai.
And King.
In Avatar Last Airbender.
Okay.
And another king of the Earth Kingdom. He played that guy too.
Yeah. Mark Hamill being associated with any kind of animated series should not be that big of a surprise, though. He did... There's a show on Netflix that Riker loves,
it's like about like
toads and frogs, and he plays a fucking frog, the voice of a frog person. He just does. He played the voice in Darksiders.
It's not the fact that they managed to get Mark Hamill. It's the fact that Mark Hamill is in
Wants
the
to do it.
Invincible animated series. Like, a character that we have talked about for 70 episodes is going to be voiced by Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. The Joker.
The Joker.
And the
fucking
Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
sorry.
trust me. No, trust me.
He's
I know.
spoken more words as the Joker than he has as Luke Skywalker.
I'm right there with you. I'm just saying.
So we have Walton Goggins from
Walton.
Justified. Oh, he plays...
He's
what?
the bad guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, yeah. The like, gangster guy
He's
who
kind
knows
of that
FBI.
southern gangster guy. Yeah.
Jason Maniszukis, who was on the rumored list.
Yep.
And is now...
Which, by the way, Walter Goggins wasn't. Neither was Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Like, neither was Seth Rogen.
Mae Whitman,
Katara.
Chris Diamantopoulos. Diamantopoulos. Who's that? From Silicon Valley?
Yep, Silicon Valley. He also is the guy that plays the voice of Mickey Mouse in the current
Okay, gotcha. Melise?
I don't know who that is.
One word. Kevin Michael Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Gray Griffin. Max Burkholder. And more.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't familiar with some of these, but TJ, you watched it. Bill, did you watch the Hector Navarro's animation investigation?
I watched right up until he started saying who Seth Rogen is probably playing.
Oh, okay.
Or who they think he
there's
could play.
He did a good job showing like a lot of those other voice actors that you might not know or lesser known or you might not recognize their name, and like showing who they were and who they could be. So yeah, and it says and more. So notable differences.
J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
J.K. Simmons. I mean, Whiplash is my favorite movie.
I still need to see it. I can't believe I still haven't seen it.
You
own
have
it, right?
not seen Whiplash?
Don't you own it?
Yeah,
Why have I not borrowed it yet?
You have, and it's sat here forever. It's
No.
sat on. It's sat
You
on
don't
here.
believe- you
it's
believe
sat
that.
here forever.
I
And
don't
I took it.
believe
And I
that.
took it back.
Well, now I have more of a reason.
Yes, he won literally that Whiplash is my favorite movie, and what makes that movie good is J.K. Simmons. He won an Oscar for that movie.
1000%.
He won an Oscar. Like
1000%.
he's amazing in that movie. And what like the good thing about that movie and what kind of transcends into Omni-Man is that in that movie he plays like a good guy, like an understanding guy, like very cool.
Wait, again,
and then it just
isn't he
flips
like
the
he's like
switch and
he's a teacher, right?
Yes.
So he's like a teacher, kind, understanding, and then like
and then he
snaps.
flips, and then like he's like screaming
Fucking,
at points.
like,
It's both sides of Omni-Man.
This is one of those castings that I'm so angry. How did we not ever think to cast that? Like,
because we never thought that they would get such. He's an Oscar award-winning actor.
Yeah.
He won Academy Award.
But he's also played the voice of Tenzin in.
Yeah, but he wasn't that
Oh my
big.
god, I forgot he was in Korra.
He wasn't
Holy shit, he's Tenzin.
He wasn't that big back then. I'm not surprised.
No,
that
he was.
He played fucking
That was
JJ
after JJ.
or fucking
He didn't get it. He wasn't an Oscar award winner back then.
Yeah, but still.
That doesn't define who you are. You being in a superhero movie and identified as
tell that
such.
to every actor and actress ever in life.
Okay, if you want to be taken seriously, like, then cool. But if you want to be known, then be in a fucking superhero movie.
So,
do you think anybody even knows Chris Evans from fucking Snowpiercer? Not saying that that's an Oscar movie, but that he's
not.
fucking. But I mean, that's, fucking. Or the movie where he plays a trumpet or a saxophone or something like that. Liz knows it. I don't know.
he plays a trumpet?
He plays some
Like
sort of instrument.
He is a trumpet?
He plays the instrument. Yeah, like he is the trumpet.
I always think of J. Jonah Jameson.
Right.
I always think that, like, whenever you see an interpretation of J. Jonah Jameson, and
you
it's
hear
not,
his voice.
Yeah, and if it's not him, it's weird because he is such that character.
People like voice actors, and I mean, other than the old animated series.
And what's funny is because there is no part of me that's like worried that I'm going to hear J. Jonah Jameson when Nolan talks.
You need to.
Because it's going to be so good.
Dude, seriously,
it is perfect.
After it was announced, me and Liz just YouTube Tenzin.
Scene?
No, we just watched
Tenzin?
Like a bunch of like. There's him fighting and like him having like. Funny dialogue and very calm dialogue because he's an Airbender
very much
monk.
a father figure in that show.
He is. He's a very stoic person, but he flips out once in a while, and he's like yelling at his kids and stuff like that, yelling at Korra. Like, it's very different, and like I feel like that's a really close like what it's going to be like for Nolan.
I think it's I think it might be the best casting on this list.
I'm just worried.
It is hands down. Hands down, it is.
I'm just worried because I have this voice in my head for each character that isn't really defined, and I feel like once
Alan.
Yeah, like
when we get to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it.
Well, Sandra Oh is Debbie, right?
1,000%. There's nobody else that she could play.
Yeah, Sandra Oh is Debbie.
And I think that if you say that she's playing Duplicate,
no way.
That's
no. She's definitely Debbie.
Right.
All right. So, Alan.
So it's not official, and it was just on this.
It's just guesses.
It was
guessing.
Just they were educated guesses.
Yep.
But Seth Rogen, he thinks, would be playing the voice of Alan, the
based
alien.
off of the appearance of Alan. Not like we've been reading.
No, they even
Invincible.
said like imagine his laugh like when Alan's kind of acting goofy like the or whatever. But that's just not. We've all been proven wrong before about casting.
I disagree, Bill. I think Seth Rogen is absolutely perfect for that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah. I don't like it, but
I disagree that he's perfect for it. However, if I had never read Invincible, I don't know who this character is, and you put a picture of Alan in front of me and said, "Can you see Seth Rogen doing his voice?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, he looks perfect for it." But having read Invincible and like you said, Bill, putting a different voice to it, I don't see him for it at all. Mm-hmm. So, yes and no. I can see both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if not Alan, who else could he play? Because I think that he is going to play. I mean, they wouldn't cast Seth Rogen as just a minor character, but I see him being like the comic book writer for a Science Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could see that being, Seth Rogen. But
or like a Mauler twin or something like that.
Or a Mauler twin.
I thought Mauler twins.
Really?
I thought,
originally.
Yeah. Well, okay. Do you think, if you have Mark Hamill... Mark Hamill never plays Mark Hamill. Like he never just like talks like Luke Skywalker when he does voice acting. Not. He doesn't. He always does something a little bit more like animated or alien or something like that. So that being said,
Firelord Ozai is very much a demanding voice. Like it is.
But it's
right. You watched it recently.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Yeah,
we just finished.
So you literally
book 3? You just watched book 3?
You literally
we rewatched it all.
Oh my god!
So you literally just watched it last night at the end with a ton of Firelord Ozai, talking. Were you thinking about who he could be in that moment?
And I had to be thinking Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
It does not sound like Mark Hamill.
No,
it doesn't.
You can hear little pieces of Joker in there, a little bit here and there, but overall, it's a completely seperate voice than anything that he's done.
That's so hard.
That's how it always is.
Yeah.
With Mark Hamill, he's a genius voice actor.
Do you think in the guessing thing that the animated thing that we're talking about, or the thing
animation investigation?
He said that Mark Hamill could play multiple characters.
Yeah, he listed a few people. And I agree with one of them, but not the others.
I think that he could play both the Mauler twins.
Interesting.
I think that would be more...
I disagree. I want the Mauler twins to be a big, deep, big guy. Like
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, of course he could do it, but I think he'd be better suited for something else.
Oh, you think the one guy who played the Joker in The Batman?
Oh, like maybe something like that, but not even that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he could pull off Cecil.
You know what? That could be very Mark Hamill.
That's what they said, right?
That
was one of them. He said robot, someone else, and Cecil.
Robot he could do too.
I don't think robot. I really think robot just needs to be
Zachary Quinto.
Honestly, yes, 100%. I hope that's right. So, TJ, Mark Hamill, before we move on to that, anything?
Conquest.
What?
Conquest.
That was the other one I think they might have said.
Yeah. I don't think they said that in that.
I
think people don't think that it's going to go that far in the first season. I do. I think it's going to end with that. I think it's only going to be
out of your mind.
I think it's only going to be 3 seasons long. We talked about this. It's only going to be 3 seasons long. It's going to end with Conquest, and then season 2 is going to end with Robot Takeover, and then season 3 is going to be the remainder.
No, I think Robot Takeover and the remainder is the same final season.
I think it's going to end with Robot Takeover. And then the final season is going to be his full takeover, them leaving Earth, coming back, reboot, and then the end of all things.
That's a lot, but you're right. A lot can happen in an hour-long episode. I don't want to get into that because we could literally...
It's an Amazon show. It's not gonna last 8 seasons. It's just not. And I think they know that going into it.
Why? Why couldn't it be 5 or 4?
I just don't.
No, in your head, you're seeing it as a 3-season.
Yeah,
thing.
I just don't. I think they are too. Honestly, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I personally hope it's not. I want Conquest to be season 2 or end of season 2. I personally hope he's not in season 1.
I agree. I want to see him.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, imagine like the season finale being
him, his arrival.
Yeah, and then him coming back in season 2 when he goes to the other world. Oh, come on. Come the fuck on. Like, when he goes into, like, to get Angstrom Levy.
Why haven't we done that? We got to do a night where we're not
gosh.
recording and actually try and, like, storyboard it. Like, time frame it. Be like, this is season 1, this is season 2, and, like, scrap a lot. Like, try and get it down into 3 seasons.
Do you know how long that would take?
For us to figure that out?
To actually try to, like, realistically plan out even an hour-long episode of Invincible?
I'm not saying hour long. I mean just season-wide. Season-wide.
But we would have to have a general idea of how long each episode is going to be and what's going to be in it, because we can't...
True.
I mean, we could create half a season.
Yeah. I still want to do it. Still want to do it.
8 hours. 8 hours of Invincible.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. It could. Maybe TJ's right. Maybe I'll get to Conquest.
Okay, 8 hours. Think of it this way. A movie is 2 hours long, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say 2 hours.
We're getting 4 2-hour movies.
That's what I'm saying. We're getting.
That's
so
like,
when would Conquest show up in the Invincible movie franchise?
Again,
the second movie.
Again, you're putting it in a movie franchise. I'd want it to be a 3-movie story, and Conquest would be the second movie.
Right.
Here's the thing.
So how could you realistically say that he would not show up within the first
Angstrom
6 hours?
Conquest.
6 hours of Invincible.
Let me lay it out like, the first episode has to tell what the story is about, and the story is about, a boy and his dad, and it goes wrong. I feel like the first episode has to end with Omni-Man and him fighting. And I know a lot of people want
first episode
ending with that. Or the first episode is going
him
to end
killing the Guardians.
Okay, sure. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Second
episode, the fighting.
Fuck, that's so fast.
But the villain,
it's so fast.
The villain of season 1 will be Angstrom Levy, and the conclusion of Angstrom Levy will be the Viltrumite War, which leads directly. I'm sorry, the Invincible War. Well, so Angstrom Levy's conclusion of season 1 will end with the Invincible War, which leads directly into Conquest. Like literally directly.
The end of Angstrom's story. I mean, obviously he gets deformed and then comes back and attacks Debbie and Oliver. That's after Mark goes to space, gets Oliver, brings Oliver back. That's the first season. It's not.
That's an episode right there.
It's not Invincible War. It's Mark, quote unquote, killing Angstrom, and then Angstrom comes back in season 2 for the Invincible War.
No,
we got to talk about this more.
No,
we're going to go on forever.
The reason why you're wrong is because we don't understand why Angstrom is a villain, and we don't hate Angstrom until issue 33, where he's at home with Debbie. That's your realization of, oh shit, he's a fucking badass bad guy. That's him with Debbie and Oliver is his origin. Is part of his origin of being a bad guy. Yes.
Him having the brain at the end of the accident.
No, he wasn't a villain at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, he made the announcement that he wants to kill him. Yes,
yeah, right.
But you didn't fear him yet.
Fuck. Until he was sitting there with Debbie, Invincible comes in and says, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
He doesn't even know who he is. They can't end the season with that.
This episode, everything ties together. Dinosaurus ties in so well with Volume 7 with the animated series.
I want to make legit bets. I am.
Let's write this out.
I am so fucking sure.
Are we gonna postpone Dinosaurus?
I am so sure of that.
No. We're gonna fucking do Dinosaurus. Let's do this when we see a trailer, because that will show us what is pretty much going to be in the first season, at least the first kind of episodes. It'll give us an idea, and then we'll have it. And obviously, we're going to have an entire episode just based off of that trailer.
No, yeah.
And then we can talk about the entirety of the show.
I still want to do without knowing anything. I still, in my free time, I think we need to make an outline.
Free time?
I think we need to make an outline.
People are being paid 40 hours a week to do this.
Can you imagine?
And it's still not
Think about that.
You want to do it in your free time.
Somebody is doing that and getting paid for it. All right. Another voice actor. Who else? What are you looking at, TJ?
Your mirror reminded me, I don't know why, of the dresser from Beauty and the Beast. I don't know why.
Yeah, kind of. Question. The rumor leaked list had Zachary Quinto on it, as well as Clancy Brown. Those are two people that weren't on the official list.
Mm-hmm.
obviously there could be reasons for not saying if they have been talking to them. Maybe they're not officially like contracted or anything like that. So maybe they don't have Zachary Quinto yet, but they're trying to, or whatever the reason is. I still hope he is and that he is Robot. That would just be ideal.
I can't unhear it in my head. I cannot unsee it anymore. It's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing him in the movie. I can't fucking see anybody else doing it.
Maybe that was a false rumor. Clancy Brown was the other one that was listed on there, but not on the official. Clancy Brown announced on Twitter
that he was doing Invincible.
That he already did it this year. That he already worked on Invincible.
That he worked. Yeah, it was his Twitter post. He listed like a bunch of things that he did, and very nonchalantly in the middle,
he's like,
Invincible.
This has already been a busy
blah,
year.
Blah, blah, blah,
this,
Invincible. Blah, blah, blah. Like it was smack dab in the middle, and no one was like, whoa.
You weren't officially announced,
like,
dude.
What the fuck? Yeah. What did you just say?
Yeah. So Clancy Brown's official. I like him as Immortal.
I like him as Immortal or Cecil. I think he's
the one that
Cecil.
I originally had as Conquest. He's the one I originally had. I think he would make a better Conquest than Mark Hamill.
I see him very serious. I don't see him rage.
Then Angstrom.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Hold on.
No.
We haven't really talked about who would voice Angstrom. What if it's Carrie or Kari Payton from Walking Dead? Ezekiel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was just about to say when I said Clancy Brown as Angstrom.
No, he probably plays Bulletproof.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, TJ, go ahead.
I don't know. Another thing, like going back to Zachary Quinto too, is
Careful.
Robot is Rexplode. He's Rex.
He's not though.
But he's a direct quote.
This is what we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
I think the person that plays
Robot Rudy.
No, the person that plays old Rudy is going to be the same person. No, the person that plays grown up Rudy is going to be the person that played Rex. But the voice coming from a blob through a machine out the robot does not have to sound anything like Rex.
Right.
Those are different characters.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any kind of like sense.
Yeah, why would it sound like it
wouldn't?
now?
It wouldn't make any sense. Like it would be stupid if
it was the same person.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to have Zachary Quinto play him and then not have him play him anymore.
No,
like, that
I know, right? But no, every time he talks through the robot, it should sound like Zachary Quinto. But when the helmet's off, it's going to be Jason Mantzoukas or whoever plays Rex.
Jason is it Mantzoukas?
Mantzoukas.
My throat's gargling more than usual.
It is.
Yeah, it's very loud today. We should just have the blooper reel be
Yes, you want to go through and edit all those out. Jeez. Do you like Jason Mantzoukas as Rex?
No, I hate that.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
He could play
Harley Quinn. I just don't like his voice. I don't like.
He's an ass. He plays an ass.
Yeah, but he's too obnoxious.
Rex is not. I don't want. That's too much.
But he doesn't have to be. He can rein it in. Like
Rex is not.
That's a character that he plays. He plays that kind of character in several shows.
He does,
but he doesn't always sound like that.
Okay, so he's done voice acting.
Why cast him?
He played a character in Big Mouth, the Netflix show, and he plays a very like overly confident, obnoxious kid.
Really?
And that's not Rex. Like I understand like Rex being confident.
So is Rex a little bit more what's his face? I'm thinking live actor. Like
I could see Rex being like one of the Jonas brother, like
Jonas brother.
Yeah, like the one that was in
Rex is like Ryan Reynolds.
No,
I was gonna say what's his name from 21 Jump Street.
Oh, Channing Tatum.
It's more like a Channing Tatum.
I think it's more of a Channing Tatum. Yeah,
and less of a.
Agree.
I'm not saying that.
Totally disagree.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'd be fine with Jason Mantzoukas.
You think Channing Tatum can voice their voice?
No. I'm saying what type of person.
The way that he carries himself and
that kind of cocky, not the more annoying.
Not like whoa, that's exactly him. Not who what's his name?
Mantzoukas.
Yeah,
Jason Mantzoukas.
I don't think he's gonna sound like that. I don't think he has to sound like that.
But I know, and we watched the video of him saying, like, every time someone meets me, they want me to be obnoxious and, like, punch him in the dick, but that's not me.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Anyone else on there? I feel like we're missing someone. There's a bunch of other ones.
We'll get once we get actual.
But those are like the big ones.
Right.
Some of the other ones were ones that we Katara, Mae Whitman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be Amanda. I think that'd be perfect.
Wait,
that's
Katara?
Katara is one of the voice actors.
Seriously?
Yeah.
She was young when she recorded Avatar.
She was
actually a young girl. Like
she's in
14 or 15 years old.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She's like the 5th or so Evil X.
The
blonde one.
The lesbian one?
Yeah.
That's Katara?
Yep.
Thank you for ruining it for me.
You're
because
welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. So now when you watch that movie and you close your eyes, it's Katara.
Ew, no.
It's so weird, isn't it?
I want to YouTube it right now, but I can't. We have to do the
we'll do it
podcast.
after.
We have to finish this.
I think that would be she could probably pull off Amanda. Young Amanda. Right?
Or Eve.
I still think Eve is Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz, I feel like
Zazie, sorry.
Would be Amanda.
Really?
Yeah, because she's kind of more sassafras. Like Amanda is sassy. Like she's.
But Eve can be like
Eve.
You have to have some range
Eve
to be
is more
Eve.
mature, I think, and like think Katara when she's fucking bloodbending that guy who killed her mom.
Think of.
Oh, do you remember that during the Blood Moon? Oh my god, let's fucking watch it. You just watched it. I'm jealous.
Just watch
I'm
it.
jealous.
That's what you know of Eve as you've read it lately. Think of all that you know about Eve. She can be sassy. Her and Mark fighting and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think Zazie Beetz is definitely Eve. I'd put money on it.
Yeah. All right. Wow, that was just the news. We got to move on to the main topic. We get to be talking about the animated series forever, so let's move on. The main topic of this month's episode is Dinosaurus. Been a long time coming. We'll do like a little character discussion on it. I've got some questions and kind of look through his history a little bit. He first appeared in Invincible 68, which was released on November 18th, 2009.
What was the last issue of Conquest? Wasn't it like 66? Because this is almost right after.
This is right after.
It's like right after.
Well, no, it's after
Conquest.
He's cleaning up the city.
Yeah.
And he has his broken arm and broken. No, but it's been like a couple months.
Right before this was the Alan and Nolan adventures where they went to find Space Racer.
Okay.
So there was.
So I think it was 65. That was the last
because
one.
then there was 2 or 3 issues, and then Dinosaurus appears. This is the first time seeing Mark in several months because there was issues in between. And so last we saw, he had fought Conquest, was injured, and now the cover of this one is him fighting a dinosaur wearing Robot's arm and leg.
64 was Conquest's last one. 65 was the funeral of Rex.
And then 66, 67 was Alan and Nolan.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah.
And 68 probably came out like 8 months after.
We'll see. I don't know. It starts with Mark helping rebuild after the Conquest fight, and he's randomly attacked by a dinosaur.
In metal underwear.
And
metal shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys like the look of Dinosaurus?
His early, it looks like he has a shorter snout, doesn't it?
Maybe. Let's see.
Compared to his later ones? Definitely.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely.
He did become a little bit more T-Rex face.
Right.
It's kind of small.
No. His head is super beefy compared to... Look at that.
I don't know.
Look at that.
That's kind of a different...
I'm talking about when he bites onto... Oh my gosh, yeah, his face is... He's definitely gotten longer.
He's very much a T-Rex, but with arms.
Look at his face. Anyways, I remember... And I've said it a million times, when you first even... What's the cover of this issue? It's Dinosaurus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so stupid. It looks so
like
dumb.
It's a dinosaur.
Like, why the fuck is Mark fighting a dinosaur in a diaper? In a metal diaper? And then, typical Kirkman fucking style, makes something so stupid
So smart.
Into something so multi-layered.
He's pissed off at Mark because he's helping them speed up the recovery of the city.
And he wants them to do it themselves so that they can grow as a
build jobs and all that.
Advance as a civilization.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He surprises Mark. I love that image.
It almost looks 3D.
Yeah.
Like it's popping out.
So in this issue, he shocks Mark with how strong he is. Mark manages to knock him out, and it turns out it's just a boy.
It was a very quick fight.
It was really fast.
Very quick fight.
David... What's his name? David...
Oh, shoot. I forgot.
I want to say David, like, Akers or something like that.
Yeah. Look it up. I forgot what his name was. So, yeah. Dinosaurus turns into a boy. It's kind of a...
And Mark's going to kill him.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. Yeah. This is, like, peak Invincible rage. Like, threatening to kill people and stuff like that. This is before he killed Russ Livingston or after? I want to say it's before. Because this was, like, building to him killing him.
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a single panel for those of you that are... I mean, if you're in the issue 68, there's a single panel... Well, there's what's the guy's name? David?
I think his name is David.
David. Dinosaurus is in human
David
form.
Anders.
Okay, so
I said
David
Akers.
is just some fucking nobody that like is
He's
just
like,
kind of
bro,
like,
you gotta do
dude,
something,
bro.
It happened again.
And Mark looks at him. He's like, huh, well, I'm gonna kill you now.
He says, please help me. And Mark, there's that moment where it shows Mark just kind of like contemplate.
Of Mark, like, you know what, the right thing to do is to kill you, and he starts to strangle this guy. And luckily, the Guardians come and stop him.
Because this is the time where Invincible's, he's in one of his stages where he's debating on whether or not, the differences between being a hero and just kind of doing what you want.
Yeah, this is like,
or what's
remember
quote,
Oliver
right.
telling him like, what are you doing? Kill Angstrom.
Yeah,
like. And then for Conquest to go on to do what he does. Like, he's all about, like, just putting it into it. He talks to Eve about how he contemplated killing him. And then we don't see him again until issue 79. And in 79, it shows David sitting at Stronghold Penitentiary, which is interesting. He's not at the Pentagon. I feel like later on in the series, he's in the Pentagon. But right now, they just have him at Stronghold. He's chained, and he's pissed off because they're not giving him a TV, nothing to do, and he's just bored, and he's like, seriously, guys, you can't treat me this way. He's, you know what? Fine, whatever. I don't even care. And he says, you know what? I think I figured out what makes me turn into Dinosaurus. And he busts out of there.
And then Dinosaurus says, finally, it's when he reaches the
indifference?
Indifference, yeah, indifference. He's like, fine, whatever.
Which leads to one of the coolest covers
fucking 80
in the series. Issue 80.
Dinosaurus, a character that was in almost a year ago, probably a year ago.
Well, what was the first issue?
68.
68?
And it's
80.
So...
That's a year.
That's a year.
Yeah.
A year ago, who is in 3-4 pages, maybe?
Total, yeah.
Maybe 4 pages?
Yeah.
Has now an entire issue based on his fucking plan.
Yep. So Mark and Eve are talking, but Eve gets a call because this is when she's doing the Invincible Inc. services. And she says that there's some big red guy tearing up the whole city. Mark flies over there, and it's Las Vegas. And Dinosaurus is screaming, destroying everything, telling everybody to run for their lives. And, Mark starts beating him up. Dinosaurus says that...
the city is an abomination on Earth. It was never meant to be there. A man-made oasis in the middle of a naturally formed desert.
The city is a drain on natural resources of epic proportion. You may try to fight me, but deep down you know I'm right. And he says, it's too late, my bomb. And Mark's like, oh, your bomb? And then he zips away, comes back, and he's like, oh, you mean this bomb? And he's like, what do you mean? That I expected you to find that one. That was redundant. There's a lot more. It takes at least 50 to level a city. I've devised these bombs. Devised these bombs myself. They'll vaporize everything. They're really quite powerful. The whole area will be a sheet of glass. And Mark says, how much time do we have? And they're like, no, Dinosaurus was like, well, I was hoping to get away, but I guess not. You'll probably survive. I don't know if I will.
And then
the thing about
boom.
and then the whole fucking city is vaporized. So the thing about this is Dinosaurus does not necessarily want to kill anybody.
Yeah, he was trying to warn people.
His goal was to just blow up the city and turn it into a sheet of glass to then have, like, obviously the city itself was draining natural resources like you talked about, and this creates natural energy, like, because they turn it into solar panels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Mark realizes that it was right. But the thing that I like about this is Dinosaurus, he's literally trying not to hurt anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he knows there's going to be deaths.
Yeah, but he gave people, he's like, run, get out.
As we know from his future actions, a few deaths don't bother him because there's an overpopulation problem anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he probably factors that in to the Las Vegas thing, and he's trying to, like, save as many as possible. But so then in issue 81, Mark is, watching the news, and there's a news report talking about how it has, like, Vegas is now a sheet of glass, and that Invincible was on the scene, and that a villain known as Dinosaurus caused it. We also get a panel, which is a Walking Dead.
Yeah, we got Rick and
Walking
Shane.
Dead tease, yeah.
They find his space underwear.
Because it says, where is it at? It's in Georgia, right?
King County. Yep, King County, Georgia. And you see David hiding behind a tree, naked. So he was launched from Vegas to Georgia, right?
Yep.
Why
wasn't Mark?
I don't know. Is
I-
Mark denser?
Oh, no, I see. Yeah, the little cabin in the back shows, like, where he landed.
Yeah.
Well, up here.
Yeah, but it's like a little bit of a crater.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why Mark wasn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe
Mark
he
is
jumped.
denser. Yeah, could be.
And Mark contemplates whether or not he's doing the right thing.
Is
He
this
said,
FCO?
No, this is
Who is this? Because the coloring
This is
in
different,
here,
right? I think it's Nikos Kotsis.
It's very bright.
Yeah, and he only does like a few issues.
Yeah.
This is when Mark is unsure whether or not he is doing something real, like if he's making a difference. Yeah.
Because Dinosaurus actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mark is just stopping bad guys, but Dinosaurus is making change.
Mm-hmm. And then in issue 84, a few issues later, Mark goes and visits the solar panel set up in Las Vegas. And it's cool because we actually see D.A. Sinclair. We see the other guy that he's got working there now. He was the guy that invented the gravitator gun.
Gravitator.
Yeah.
Oh, that Mark actually was like, I stopped doing this. He was robbing someone, right?
He went to rob someone for his engagement ring, I think.
Right.
And then he said, you can't do this. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And then he ended up selling the weapon to another guy who ended up trying to rob the bank. And he went back to the guy. He was like, dude, what the hell? You just turned around and sold it to someone else. And instead of turning him in, he brought him to Cecil. So he actually helped invent the solar panels. And Mark is seeing this. They're talking about how much good it's doing and how much work it's supplying, how much free energy it's creating. And there's this huge 2-page spread where Mark like whispers to himself, Dinosaurus was right. And Mark goes back and has this conversation with Eve about how he's going to do something and he can't tell her what, but it's going to seem crazy. And, you got to trust me. And she kind of gives him her permission in a way. And then, here it is, Bill. The Pentagon. Mark shows up to break David. What was his last name?
Anders.
Yep.
Goes to break David Anders out.
Well, so in the Pentagon, he's eating Chinese food. He's got a TV and he's sitting in a recliner chair. He's not at all restricted.
No, they're keeping him fully entertained.
Yeah, fully entertained.
And he says, I'm here to break you out. And he said, why would I why would I leave? I'm completely safe here, man. And he's like,
Well, more importantly,
that's what they want you to think.
He's watching Spaced. And I don't remember ever talking about this.
I remember knowing that it was Nick Frost on the TV, and I remember him wearing that military.
I feel like
garb.
I remember us talking about Spaced.
I kind of do too.
I don't. But I have a terrible
so at this
memory.
point, we knew that Simon Pegg was a friend of Robert Kirkman's when we were reading this like live time when we were getting it issue to issue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I remember talking about this.
We might talk. I mean, that was years ago when we read this issue.
But we didn't do this issue live on the podcast, did we?
No. Just in
we
person
never talked about it on the podcast ever. But I think the three of us talked about it before.
I don't know. I feel like I would remember something crazy like that.
So yeah,
I love this.
Mark goes to break him out, and he's like, "I'm totally safe here, and that's what they want you to think. I'm here to bring you out, bring out your Dinosaurus form." He's like, "What? Do I have to make you mad or something?" And he's like, "No, it's interference." He's like,
indifference.
And he's like, "What? Not caring." And Mark's like, "You mean indifference?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "You got to get me to not care about something before they get in here." So this was weird to me. Why is he okay with this? Because last we knew, he didn't like Dinosaurus. He hated turning into that monster.
Yeah, but I think it's the idea of being free, of not being
held captive.
But he doesn't feel like he's being held captive, so why would he want to leave?
Yeah, I don't think that really makes too much sense. I don't know. So Mark begins to tell him the story of how he got his superpowers in extreme, excruciatingly long detail, and it bores him. And he turns into Dinosaurus. With a really cool pose, too.
Yeah, him standing there next to Mark in all of his Dinosaurus glory looks so badass.
Mm-hmm. And Mark explains to him that you've killed people. This isn't, you have good intentions, but I believe you're going about it the wrong way. I think we can work together to do it better, basically. Cecil freaks out. This is still, like, peak Cecil versus Mark. They're still at each other's throats. They still don't get along. He sends the reanimated
Invincimen.
They fight him off. They escape. Cecil's pissed. And that issue ends, and this is actually the end of a volume too, with Mark at Dinosaurus' base, which is a secret undisclosed location. And he's like, "You ready to save the world?"
He says, "Let's save the world." And Dinosaurus is wearing a fucking cape.
It's so cool.
Awesome.
Then, issue 87, it starts with Omnipotus destroying all the Guardians. And Mark and Dinosaurus show up to save them.
This should be like an iconic
Look
cover.
at that cover. Isn't that awesome?
Is so
that page.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's these cannons shooting up in the air, and Mark is doing the carry.
It looks like it reminds me of the first appearance, like the cover of the first Spider-Man, fantastic, or the cover of the first Batman, where he's like kind of in the air, flying. You know what I mean? Like it looks like that kind of iconic.
Imagine if they kept, and they did, and not to say that they didn't make Dinosaurus a main fucking character because he obviously is.
Because
but could you
he
imagine
is one of the main villains, I feel like, but he has the least amount of issues. Like he is the
not
smallest.
Really. He has way
really
more.
Does.
We've already talked about him more than Battle Beast.
No, but listen, what was his first issue?
The one that
his very first
68.
68. His last issue was issue 100.
That's
how many
fucking years.
How long was Angstrom? Conquest.
Total. Wait.
From first issue to last issue.
That's not fair though. That's like number of comics, but if you actually list the amount of comics that he was in or pages he was in, Dinosaurus was absolutely in way more than Conquest.
I disagree.
Well, Conquest had like 4 whole issues just on him. But in terms of time, that was one moment. Dinosaurus has been in it over the course of fucking years.
I don't know. The way we're going through these, like the Viltrumite War happened during these. You notice he changed his costumes. Like these are actually snippets.
But it's over the course of like Dinosaurus has had more impact on the Invincible universe than Conquest has. Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Conquest had one giant fight with Mark, and then another fight with Mark.
Okay, you know what?
That's it. 2 fights.
No, hold on. A greater impact on the Invincible universe.
Conquest That's like
Or Mark.
leveled.
That's what
Mark
I'm getting at.
or the Invincible
I think
universe.
that's where I think we're at.
What?
I think Dinosaurus had a greater impact on the Invincible universe, and
Why?
what TJ and I
How?
are saying. That's what you said.
No.
You're the one that said that.
Dinosaurus had a
You
greater
said-
impact on the Invincible universe.
Oh,
Conquest.
you mean
But
Conquest.
Conquest had a more of an impact on Invincible.
how? Mark literally was part of murdering thousands of people.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
The flooding? You're telling me that Conquest somehow had a bigger impact on Mark personally than him literally questioning how he would be a hero and working with fucking Dinosaurus? You're out of your fucking mind.
He was questioning that before Dinosaurus came along.
Dinosaurus triggered it though.
No, he.
Yes, he did.
He was. Yeah, sure. He was the first person to come along that Mark was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm sorry.
But it could have been fucking anybody.
No, he was
I'm not talking
considering
about that. I'm not
Angstrom.
talking about that. I'm talking about him saying, let's work together because you're right in some of these ways.
Shit,
And
Bill. All right. I think you've convinced me. You've convinced me.
1,000%. In terms of character building, like, the reason why Mark said being a hero is bullshit is more impact.
More in line
was more in line with his relationship with Dinosaurus than fucking Conquest. Conquest was just a bad guy that he punched. I'm sorry to simplify Conquest. It was badass, but this is why I like Dinosaurus.
No, you're making very strong points. You're making very strong points.
TJ, you have anything to say?
Conquest is what.
You're-
Dinosaurus is one of the most boring characters in this book.
You're just being indifferent.
I never liked Dinosaurus.
Turns into Dinosaurus.
I never liked Dinosaurus.
You don't like Dinosaurus?
I think he's boring.
What?
I think he's boring.
Oh,
I think he's corny.
I will
He's
say-
he's
I will
a
say
fucking
this.
dinosaur. Listen, I know people are like raving at me right now because I know that he is a very big character to a lot of people. A lot of people are excited that we're doing this episode, but I never liked him.
all right.
I never really
so
liked him.
let's
I feel
change.
like I'm in between the two of you because honestly, while reading this series issue to issue, month to month, Dinosaurus didn't have the impact that some of the other villains did. Conquest was exciting and crazy and cool. Angstrom was fun and crazy and like it didn't have the impact for me. Dinosaurus was more of like, oh, this is smart. Okay, I get what he's doing.
I
And
got
it
it.
was a little bit of that.
I got it.
Looking at it big picture, and we're still only halfway through his story, I'm appreciating it more upon revisiting. Go ahead.
I got it. Dinosaurus had a bigger impact than Conquest on the Invincible universe
And on Mark.
and on Mark. But Conquest had a bigger impact
On your heart?
on the title of Invincible, on the comic book itself. What's your favorite story arc? Conquest. What's your favorite story arc? Conquest. What's your favorite story arc? Always fucking Conquest. To the point where we'll even say, let's not even include Conquest in that question because it's obvious.
But, I mean-
no one talks about fucking Dinosaurus. Not anybody.
But now- I do!
No one does. I don't even think you brought it up when we talked in the past about your favorite story arcs. You didn't even bring that one up.
Yes, I
Bill
did.
usually will say Battle Beast or Dinosaurus.
Absolutely.
He'll say one of the two.
When we
Here's
talk
what's-
about favorite characters,
Here's
maybe,
what's
but
not fair. Conquest, in my opinion, and I'm gonna fucking get yelled at for this, I'm sure, is not a story arc. He is not a story arc. He is an action set piece 2 times in this comic book, and he's just a gigantic fight. Fucking Dinosaurus is a story arc because it changes who Mark is.
I love this so much. We're 70 episodes in, and we got like the first real hot take.
But I mean, you can't tell me that I'm wrong. And here's the thing about Dinosaurus being quote unquote boring, TJ, is that yeah, he's a slow burn because he's in the comic for a very long time in terms of time.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. And how amazing, Ryan and TJ, how fucking amazing was it when Dinosaurus had a heartfelt moment and saved fucking Mark off of the
No,
Viltrumite
we know.
moon
Well,
base.
we're getting there. All right, let's move on. Dinosaurus bites Omnipotus's head
He
off.
saves the Guardians. TJ, he saves the Guardians of the globe.
I love this. I love this page.
So what? Who fucking cares?
He just bites his head off, and he bites it. It explodes, and he rips it off.
And it creates
so
like
badass.
a fucking atomic blast.
This is one of my favorite ever images of Rexplode. It's that Iron Man pose.
Mm-hmm.
I love that helmet. I love that helmet so much. I miss that helmet.
So
he got away from
So
that.
the Guardians
Best tiger in the
want
background.
to
Yeah. Arrest him. because right at this
arrest
point,
Dinosaurus, and Mark is
It's-
like, we just fucking saved you, and then flies as
You're
as
still
quickly,
a fugitive. You're still a fugitive.
As quickly as he flew in to fucking save them, he flies back out. Mm-hmm. Like, he literally did not have to help them.
No. Mark goes back to the house. Eve is pissed because she's like, what do you think you're doing? You're working with this villain. Do you remember Vegas? Blah, blah, blah. I think it's right here where Mark even says, this is like Africa. He literally says the words Africa, and he compares what he's doing to what Eve was doing in Africa. Conquest. Cecil shows up. He was listening the whole time. Yeah. What else? I think...
Skip to Dinosaurus.
Then we got issue 89. It shows Dinosaurus fighting
Alan.
This is... Okay. So in between these issues, Mark got sick. Mm-hmm. He was sprayed with the Scourge virus. We haven't seen Dinosaurus. He's been at his lair. He's been off doing something. Now, all of a sudden, a few issues later, we see that he's fighting Alan. And Dinosaurus says that, oh, we're evenly matched. Alan says, actually, I've been restraining myself quite a bit for this entire time. I have no intention of hurting you. I'm
friends with
Invincible.
Because Dinosaurus is a little bitch.
And Alan says, you have to come with me, brings him to the Viltrumite ship where Invincible is being held. All the Guardians are there. They're pissed. They want to try and arrest him still. Dinosaurus convinces Thrag to help because he's brilliant. He's super intelligent. I'll be able to help
with the cure.
With curing Mark.
Yeah,
that's right. The Scourge virus.
Yep. So they go to give him a lab, and I just love this page at the end of issue 89 with these 4 panels of Dinosaurs working. At this time, Bulletproof is invincible. Thrag is looking at the skull because at this point, Thrag has found out, or is about to find out, that Mark is the heir of Argyle, and Mark is unconscious. Issue 90.
Whoa. Go back to this cover. Damn. That's a cool fucking cover.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Issue 90? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
Got Walking Dread. Issue 90, here we go. You ready for this? Thrag has found out that... Oh, not quite. Dinosaurus says that...
I'm sad. I'm already sad. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it.
Dinosaurus asks to speak to the scientist in charge. Thrag says, he's unavailable. Sorry, you can't. Because he just killed him. Thrag killed that scientist after that scientist revealed that he was the heir of Argyle. Mm-hmm. Thrag walks up to Mark and says, maybe they'll believe that the Scourge virus took you. I'll sacrifice, even if they find out I killed you, I don't care about Earth. Maybe this is worth, just doing it. Because at the time they're living on Earth and they have like a peace agreement. Mm-hmm. So he puts his hand on Mark's throat to kill him. And out of the room you hear, what are you? And Dinosaurus slashes at Thrag, breaking off his 2 fingertips, like his nails, his claws.
Does no damage to Thrag at all.
No, it just tears his shirt. And I love how the way Thrag talks in this issue. He's like, I suspect it wasn't until now that you realized how foolish a course of action that was. Dinosaurus says that you've given me complete access to your ship. I've learned everything. He said that I've planted explosives all over your ship. This is the last vestige of your empire. I'm sure there's important things you have on this ship. As my heart rate goes up, different explosions will go off on the ship. And Thrag's like, you expect me to believe it? And it actually starts to happen. Dinosaurus keeps bombarding him with questions, saying, you were so desperate to help him. What changed? What did you discover? And they start going at it. Thrag is wondering whether or not if he makes his heart stop, the explosions will stop.
Right. And he says, well, let's find out. I don't want... And then more explosions go off on the ship.
As he's beating him up. And he Thrag goes to walk away to attend to the explosions, and from behind Thrag, you see Dinosaurus
Lunge
outstretched.
at him. Oh my god!
And all of 2,000 of his teeth just break.
That's one of the coolest images in Invincible.
Dinosaurus, in an effort to save Mark, breaks every single tooth in his mouth.
He did not expect that to happen, though.
His fingers broke when he slashed at him. He didn't.
Then why would he do that? Like,
I think he
how
expected.
How did that save Mark, Bill? Explain that to me.
Okay,
He did that on purpose.
Dinosaurus
to
is
save Mark.
really strong. He thought that maybe his teeth would be stronger
Yeah,
than his claws.
absolutely.
Right. I'm not saying that
He didn't do it in an effort.
What I'm
to
saying
save-
that he knows that Thrag is
Yeah, he's trying to protect Mark. For
insanely.
sure.
He's trying to protect Mark.
Yeah, I get that.
So now he's muttering, and then Thrag takes his bottom and top jaw. And
Well. Okay,
Rips them apart.
so Thrag says, unscathed, the only blood on him is Dinosaurus's blood from his mouth breaking. Surely you expected that to result in a far different outcome. And Dinosaurus, the way that they wrote the bubbles is like, imagine him not being able to say it.
explosion
Yeah,
only
it's like
the burger.
explosion only the burger. And I think I've heard enough from you. Thrag takes his mouth and just opens it in a
He takes both ends and makes it horizontal. Like, ugh.
yeah, and crack.
So Thrag says, "I'll let you bleed out. I don't want your heart to stop because I see now that that'll cause more damage. I'll deal with you soon enough." Thrag goes to deal with the explosions. Dinosaurus grabs Mark's body and finds his way out off the ship in a shuttle and crashes it into his headquarters base,
His lair.
where Mark, who has been unconscious for several issues now, wakes up and sees
finds Dinosaurus laying there
To
bloody.
the fucking person who saved his life. Thrag, I just want this to truly impact you guys, okay? Thrag was literally going to kill Mark. Mark would have died
if it wasn't for
if it was
Dinosaurus.
not for Dinosaurus stopping him.
You act like Dinosaurus is the only person throughout the entire 144 issues of Invincible that ever saved Mark from dying.
Tell me another person who saved Mark.
Omni-Man.
When?
I could probably
The
look
last
through
issue,
the
the last trade paperback we
No.
watched.
The
No.
Viltrumite War? Or
No.
not the Viltrumite,
No.
Eve.
yeah, Viltrumite War. I could
No, you
probably
didn't know.
just open up to
Mark-
a random page and put my finger down on a page.
Mark would still no.
Issue 91, another cool cover, another dinosaur.
I'm sorry.
cover.
Has Conquest ever tried to save Mark?
No, but
Has
you know
any
what?
other villain tried to save
But
Mark?
you know what? Conquest at least put up a fucking fight. Dinosaurus a little bitch. Never stood a chance against a Viltrumite.
You know what? Yeah, he did, because he thought a million steps in advance to place all these bombs over there to go off. It's not just one bomb. Like, if you kill me, the one bomb will blow up. Like, he thought this out, knowing that he would not be able to beat Thrag.
And Invincible sat there buck-ass naked in the middle of Las Vegas. Dinosaurus ain't shit. Moving on.
Issue 91. Eve is searching for Mark. She goes to Thrag to ask where he is. This is when she has her awesome battle armor on and swords. Cut to Mark, where David is in his human form, and he's talking to Mark, and Mark's saying, "I thought you died, but you turned back into your human form." And David's like, "Am I doing bad stuff again?" And Mark explains to him, like, "I don't think you're evil. I think you're just pure intelligence. You're not pure evil. You're pure intelligence, and that you don't have the human element, which is
Compassion.
yeah,
and- yeah.
Which in
So
this
this is straight up, like, his healing ability is the Astounding Wolfman.
it's kind of that, yeah.
Which someone had mentioned in Twitter. I think Ben from Nerd Chatting said that he
Oi.
thinks it's. Oi!
Cut back to Eve. She's gathering people. She's got Oliver. She's got Alan. She gets Xandal. And meanwhile, Mark is trying to get David to turn back into into Dinosaurus. And he starts trying to tell him about like the production order of a comic book and how they're made, but it doesn't work. And eventually David's just like, "Hey, whatever, man. I'm just going to enjoy it. I hope he never comes back. I don't care." and that's what finally triggers it.
And then he changes.
Yeah, it said that Dinosaur says that his form is built anew each time I transform. And he starts freaking out, like, are they here? Have they come for us? And he tells him that he saved his life, that Thrag was going to kill him. He doesn't know why, which is interesting. And Xandal flies in. Eve shows up. They have a little bit of a reunion because previously she thought he was about to die. Alan shows up. Oliver shows up. They're all fighting. Dinosaurus thinks that these are Viltrumite agents, that they're minions and they're worthless. Oliver and Xandal think that, we have to destroy this monster. Alan's fighting back. Mark's screaming, trying to get them all to stop. And Mark punches the back of Alan's head. And that's when his arm shatters because he doesn't have complete powers built yet. I never really noticed.
His shoulder bone. His collarbone is like popping out.
I never noticed that part. I always see his hand. All right, cut now to 92. Mark's healing up. I think they say that Dinosaurus said he read that it was very rare for this to be permanent. Cecil says something, I don't know. I don't remember. But then not till 96 do we have Mark talking to Eve, and Eve says...
still got that cast on his arm, too.
Yeah.
That metal arm.
He was without powers, for a while. Yeah. Mark tells Eve, I've got to check in on Dinosaurus. I've been away too long. It really concerns me. And you see a full-page spread, and it says, I've got no idea what he could be working on. And there's an image of Earth, and he's working on some sort of machine. You can't tell what it is.
Dinosaurus and Mark were the perfect match for one another.
Yeah.
Like, Mark was able... in Mark's head, he was able to control or help Dinosaurus, like, not kill everybody whilst still making the world a better place.
What's funny is, it's almost like... remember when Oliver was a thing? When he was little Oliver? And we were like, he has no compassion. He has no human emotion. Like, he doesn't care about people. And Mark even compared Dinosaurus to Oliver when he was talking to David. And we always thought Oliver would grow up to be a villain because of that. Is this kind of what it would have been like?
Yeah.
Is this kind of those two views opposing?
Sure.
Next up,
Death of Everyone.
The Death of Everyone, starting with issue 98. Mark goes to see
Dinosaurus in his badass cape again.
Yep. Dinosaur says it's good to see you. And he says that maybe things could have been different if we were to work together to solve these problems. Mark says, well, what are you talking about? What have you done? Dinosaur says there's no time. I had to act. You believe we were only days away. Dinosaur says we've reached a tipping point. I don't know how I didn't see it coming sooner. I've done the math. I've gotten it down to the minute. He had to do something. There was no other way. I had to act. And Mark's like, what did you do? And Dinosaur's only what had to be done. Dinosaur says millions must die in order for billions to survive. Mark attacks him, says where? Dinosaur tells him Los Angeles. Mark flies away. Dinosaur says, you're too late. I'm truly sorry it had to come to this, my friend. As he walks away into a back room where there is a tank with a body in it, which I did not notice the first time reading.
I didn't notice that either. He knew. Why else would he have cloned Mark?
Yeah, like, there's another thing, too, that gives a hint before issue 100 of what his plans were. That's the first one.
Crazy.
Mark shows up in Las Vegas. He's talking to Cecil. Cecil's pissed. He's like, you serious? I trusted you with this, and you're... So he tries to get the Guardians to help. They're flying around. They're trying to find these bombs. They think they're bombs. They're looking at them. Dinosaurus pops through one of the teleporting doorways and says, they start talking about it, saving billions, blah, blah, blah. Deep down, I'm right. You're smart, very smart, but apparently and much to my
Hey, it's the
disappointment,
Android girl.
oh yeah, Japan Droid.
Yep.
He said, this has all just been a distraction. Mark says, a distraction from what? And because these machines weren't bombs, they were just causing an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
But what really was happening was explosions on, it's like Greenland, up above Canada. And it shatters all these ice caps and sections.
Creates gigantic tsunamis.
Yep. Mark flies him up into the air and says, "You're killing everyone." Issue 99. Every page is a splash page. Do you remember
page.
this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I always bring this up as one of my favorite issues.
It's
Single
crazy.
Oh,
issues.
that's weird. Dinosaurus. Interesting.
Because
Another-
every page is a splash page.
Another insane cover. So yeah, Dinosaurus is flooding everything. He's saying that it's just a significant population of the world, and then our civilization can turn around and endure. The waters will only kill thousands, not millions, but they'll drive people from the coastal cities, the population centers of the world. It'll change the world for the better. Isn't this what we were working towards? They fight a lot.
Everything was a full.
Oh yeah, every
Wow.
page is a full splash page. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, they keep fighting. They're yelling at each other. Marco says, "I was stupid to ever trust you. You were brilliant. You had good ideas. I thought we could save the world together. Instead, you're just making me your accomplice and destroying it for the sake of humanity. You have to die." At one point, Mark says that, I'm stronger than you. I will, it's only a matter of time. You're going to die. And as this building crumbles and they're underneath it, before the building crumbles, you see
There's a teleporter.
a teleporter door open up.
Why?
Because after the building
Invincible's
crumbles,
coming in. The clone.
yep, Invincible. The building crumbles. The issue ends with Dinosaurus taking Mark by the head and saying, "You've left me no choice. You have to die." With his hands on Mark's head, squeezing it.
With his eye about to pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 100.
With the crazy variant cover of Dinosaurus attacking Mark with all the bodies.
Oh, look at all those variants.
Yep.
Go to the previous one. That's cool.
That's in foil too.
That one's not in foil.
That's in foil.
No, it's not.
Isn't
The only
it?
one that's in foil is the
I
chromium.
could have sworn that one was.
Yeah. So yeah, issue 100 opens with Dinosaurus.
I remember
smushing
reading
his
that.
head.
And I could not have guessed that it was going. The first page is going to be that. When the last one ends off
The
with
way
him
the last
squeezing
one
his head, you're like,
ends-
oh, someone's going to stop him.
right.
Really?
Like, something's going to happen. Oh yeah.
I remember thinking that because that's the way the last one ends, they're all about shock value. Issue 100. What crazier than Smash?
Then Mark's face getting
Which is what
crushed.
it is. He rips Mark's body in half. This is televised live. Everybody reacts. Mark says, "Wait, what? Where am I?" And he wakes up in this. God, that looks good in the hardcover. And Mark is in this black void, and he's yelling. He can't see anything, only himself. But then he hears a voice. It's Dinosaurus telling him that I learned a lot on the Viltrumite ship. I know about a certain frequency that will make you immobile, but you're still awake in your consciousness, basically, and I could talk to you. And he says that, hey, I swapped out a clone. I created a clone of you because I took samples while you were on the Viltrumite ship. That's the one that I ripped in half, and I saved you so that you can help me. Now, you're free. You have no obligations. You have no reservations. There's no reason why you can't just help me now. And Mark freaks out on him, saying that, you killed people. You killed people. You didn't give them a chance to make things better. All you did was delay the inevitable. It's still going to happen. We didn't learn from our mistakes. You know what I mean? You just delayed it. And that's kind of what ultimately gets to Dinosaurus, and he realizes that that he was mistaken, that maybe he should have done something different. He still thinks he did the right thing, and that he thinks that it will be for the better. Things will get better because of it, and that Mark has to kill him Yeah, this is
Look
wrong
at the
for
look
me.
on Dinosaurus'
I know
face.
it was wrong, but flooding those cities did accomplish something. Some good will come of it. That will stand as my final act. I know that if I continue, if I try to fix things, improve things somehow, I'll only get sidetracked on something else monstrous that I'll believe is right. No, the cycle has to end now. It should have ended in Las Vegas. You should never have. You have to kill me. So, and I love that you don't see it.
I think that it is so respectful. I mean, honestly, like, why do you need to see something so morbid as that? Mark, do you think that Dinosaurus was Mark's friend? That Mark considered Dinosaurus a friend, or like a means to help somehow?
I think if anything, he considered him a loose teammate. Like, I don't know about a friend.
You don't think that he cared about Dinosaurus at all?
Not like that.
Why
Not
would
really.
he? They never shared anything personal.
Dinosaurus saved his life, and he even said that it's good to see you. Like, why would it be good
okay.
to see?
Yeah.
How hard do you think it was for Mark to do that? Like, he's covered in blood. He walked out and he was dripping
And
blood.
like he's not able to defeat him. Like he put up in 99 or in issue 99. Like he wasn't able to stop him. Like he was stronger than him.
How do you think that?
I guess maybe if he let him.
Could you imagine Dinosaurus just sitting there and taking a beating until he died? And we see his dead carcass. Like,
Oh yeah. So Cecil shows up, says he's worked with villains before. He said that he gives a number. Last count heard was 800,000. Should cross 1 million before it's all done. Could have been a lot worse.
with the death toll.
With the death toll. And then the last time we see him is in 101 when Mark goes to the Pentagon. He asks to see the body because he marked the vertebrae. I marked his 6th vertebrae with my thumb. I didn't want you to do the same thing you did with Conquest.
He is ripped open and torn apart. Mm-hmm. Like, his jaw is ripped up. Like, what a fucking terrible, terrible way to die.
Yep. So before I get into a couple questions I have for you guys, let's read a couple emails. First up is a Twitter reaction. So, one from Mitch Krassen, who has been super excited for this episode.
Yeah,
and
he
has
was
been
one of the
wanting
big
us
ones.
to do it for so long. He's such a fan of Dinosaurus too. He says Dinosaurus is the best villain. From his arc where he killed Invincible to his consistently logical yet flawed way of thought about everything. I adored the character and was super sad to see him go out. So pumped for this episode. Nerds Chatting, over at the Nerds Chatting podcast, says Dinosaurus is one of the greatest villains in Invincible. I love that he just wants to help people, and he has no filter when he's doing it. His powers remind me of Astounding Wolfman's in that he can be injured, change back, and then back again. I am so hyped that we're going to see his character on screen someday. A diabolical genius that rivals Robot when it comes to levels of intellect. Imagine what could have been done with him if Cecil had controlled his impulses. Can't wait for your episode. And then we've got an email from Luke. This is Luke Lizald. He says, hey guys, I meant to write in for the relationships episode, but did not. I wanted to say how much I love the way Kirkman takes us there and then pulls us back. For example, when Mark and Amber visit Eve in Africa, Mark and Eve are on the roof and you just want them to kiss, but Amber walks out and ruins the moment. This is one thing that makes Invincible great, the relationship drama. And we'll get some of that shortly. But getting to this month's episode about dinosaurs, sometimes I wondered, was a dinosaur necessary, or was it appealing to kids, or the kid in all of us? I know Ryan loved drawing him. I did enjoy his scientific approach to things. He looked at what was better for the majority, even if it meant sacrificing all of Las Vegas. The fact Invincible came around to work with him says something. I had another thought. Have you heard the song Unstoppable by Sia? Much like Black Sabbath's Iron Man for the movie Iron Man, Unstoppable could be the same for the Invincible movie. I actually don't think I've heard that. I will have to check it out. I actually started saving songs in a playlist on my Spotify of things I was like, this could work in Invincible. Just like obviously
The animated show or the movie?
Neither though. You know what I mean? Like they're cliche. Like you wouldn't want songs that have the word Invincible over and over and over. Like Luke finishes out, one final note, one of the most underrated characters in Invincible, but my favorite is Shapesmith. I would have loved to see more about him. Best, Luke. Shapesmith is awesome, and he had a lot. I don't know if you read it, Luke. He had a lot to do in guarding the globe and Invincible Universe. Let's see. Was Mark to blame for what happened at the end of 99? In 99, when Dinosaurus floods everything, and Cecil is telling him at the end of issue 100, like, it's 1 million lives lost. I've worked with villains before. This is partly on you.
No.
Like,
I don't think it. Not really.
It's not,
I think he had. I think there. I understand kind of where Cecil's coming from, because like as a hero, he needs to be careful who he trusts.
Mm-hmm.
But I think anybody would have made that mistake. He trusted the wrong person. That's all it was.
No.
It's no.
It's no. It's no.
No, it's not. It's
no. That's what I just did. No.
No,
Oh my god.
Anyways,
it is not Mark's fault. In fact, Mark's.
You said that like a preacher. It is not Mark's fault.
In fact, it was Mark's role in Dinosaurus's like whole scheme or life, if you will, to steer him away from doing things that would hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark got hurt trying to defend Dinosaurus. And in that, him getting hurt, he wasn't able to go because he lost his powers. Remember, he was like, oh, I should go see what Dinosaurus is doing. Like, he wanted to like, make sure he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dinosaurus, left unchecked, did what he did. It's not Mark's. Had Mark been able to be there, Dinosaurus would still be alive. And he would not have done what he did.
Yeah.
Because Dinosaurus respected Mark enough to listen to him. Exactly right.
Was David Anders innocent?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know. And
So-
he's dead.
So Mark killed that guy.
Right, also.
Yeah.
And did it have to be a dinosaur? I said this in the beginning, that it plays this trope like he's a ridiculous fucking character. When he's introduced, he's just a dinosaur fighting Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't cause any destruction. He's just kind of there. And then he turns out to be this super, like, maybe the most complex character in Invincible.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, when you think about his story arc from beginning to end and everything that he did for and against Mark, he is one of the most complex characters, and he is to... Who wrote in this email? Who was this? Luke?
Mm-hmm.
A fucking dinosaur.
Yeah. And then finally, before we wrap up Dinosaurus, and I don't want to get too much into it, but what do you want to see as far as the animated series and the movie, as far as Dinosaurus goes?
I want him to not sound like a fucking lizard. If someone is voice casted him and talks like this, like I'm gonna be really mad. It has to be.
I don't think he would be a lizard.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Very deep and.
Yeah, it's more like bellowing.
But not like, ooh, like I have
I don't think. That's too mischievous. That's Lizard League.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you would think that a dinosaur would sound lispy. Like a snake.
Like the snake from fucking Jungle Book or something like that.
I don't know. Jafar.
Yeah.
Snake am I?
Oh,
Let's see how
yeah.
snake-like I can be.
What, do you want to see him in the movie?
Yes.
No.
You think that he can't be in the movie?
He's not needed.
Right now.
I don't need him.
All right, as far as, again, this is
He's the one.
Here's the thing,
He
Bill.
is why Mark
Let me put it
doubts
this way.
being a hero.
Let me put it this way, Bill. If the movies are 4 movies, the live-action movies, if they're 4 movies, I want dinosaurs to be in it. If the live-action movies are 3 movies, I don't think
That is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
That is ridiculous.
3 movies I see Angstrom, Conquest.
Okay, so who's
Thrag.
so Mark? Does Mark get the Scourge virus?
No.
You think all that's going to be left out in the movie?
Yep.
I do too.
you
Because
might be right.
because
Why?
use it on
Because
everybody.
why?
Yeah. Like no, it's just no.
And
If you have
the
to
Scourge
cut it
virus
down.
is not a loaded gun that comes back later.
Yeah.
You're right.
If you have to cut it down. Sorry. Animated series? God, I can't wait. I want Dinosaurs in the animated series, definitely.
Oh my god, him versus Thrag. Oh.
And with how much time we get, even with TJ's timeline, I feel like he could be in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh.
Half an episode, cut it down. You know.
Oh my god. I hate you.
He's in the
fit him in there.
Instead of him being dinosaur, they just turn him into like
he's
a
in the
big guy.
background, no
Yeah.
speaking lines.
Waves.
He waves in the background.
Okay, we gotta move on now. We're gonna try and get through our rereader.
I think we gotta postpone this.
Oh, we got this. We got
It's
this.
so long.
This is such a good volume. We'll go quickly.
It's such a long volume.
We'll go quickly. No, I said good volume, right? This is
where we are. Oh,
we're at
gosh, hour and 44 minutes. We haven't
we're
started.
probably about around an hour and a half now-ish, maybe a little more.
I'm so sorry to the listeners.
That's right.
It's just
Let's
two-
break it up into two.
Yeah,
break
we
it up
can
into two
break
parts.
it up into two parts. We're doing the hard work
This is
for you.
This is monthly.
And I want to just end, like, you know.
Real quick, we have an email from
You
Christopher
keep saying
Swan.
real quick, like
I
it's
say
gonna
real
like
quick.
like
I
it's
don't
gonna
know why.
help me like be like, oh okay, yeah, this will
Oh,
be
all right. This is going to be over soon. All right. Email from Christopher Swan. He said, "Hey guys, just listened to the most recent episode and heard Ryan ask about how Black Samson lost his powers prior to the series starting. Remember that? Mm-hmm. We good?
Yeah, I remember because we were talking about his suit and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah.
Of course, Kirkman would need to confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that he lost his powers due to a run-in with one of the baddies from Savage Dragon. In issue 6 of Invincible, Black Samson says, 'My life has gone to hell since I was negated.' Pretty sure this is a direct reference to negate, a villain with the power to strip people of their superpowers. It is usually permanent, but in Black Samson's case, it just took a near-death experience to reawaken his abilities. Can't wait to hear what you think about J. Jonah Omni-Man. Love, Chris." That's got to be it. I mean, there's nothing else about it. I looked up different times.
Did you Google like Savage Dragon and?
Oh yeah, and negate and everything like that. Yeah, he even included a link for him. There is not a situation, as far as I was able to look into, in which it actually showed that happening. Like there wasn't an Invincible tie-in to
I would
Savage
love
Dragon
for
where that happened.
That's a really like smart and like in-depth explanation as to how he
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Headcanon wise,
he said negated like
Yep.
and
Why
there's
would
a
he
set-
say negated? Why
Right.
wouldn't he just say he lost his powers?
Right, exactly. I would love for this to be confirmed by Ottley, Corey Walker.
Maybe I'll put
or
out a
Robert
tweet or
Kirkman.
something tomorrow and tag
Yeah,
him,
just
see if-
you tag
see if
him in
he'll-
it and see if Kirkman will just be like, yes,
Cool.
it is what it is.
All right. Rereader, Volume 7.
Real quick.
Real quick. Three's Company.
So the last one ended with Mark and Amber kind of ending thing. Not ending, but like there's trouble in paradise.
Yes.
Kind of the start to the end of their
The
relationship.
beginning of the end.
Brian, for this being real quick, you're getting real comfortable.
I got it. I'm warming up. Let's do this.
So it starts off with Mark coming home and seeing Debbie with baby Oliver, and
Maybe-
they're talking about how like they're getting close against her will. She didn't want to get close to with Oliver, but she's like, you bring this baby home, and you of course I'm going to take care of it.
Last volume, we also got the tease of Robot asking the Mahler twins to help. We see that he is growing another body in a tube, but he needs the Mahler twins to help transport his mind into the body, which is something that they're really good at.
Yeah, which is obviously similar to what they do with their cloning, and then also what they did with Angstrom.
Rudy's also a fan of Oprah.
Yeah, he's reading the O magazine.
Yep.
I love that Mastermind came back into this. This is a villain from the very first.
We talked about this, Ryan.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this in like a
Well,
Guarding
Brit.
the Globe, or it was Brit?
The very in Brit Volume 1, the very first thing Brit ever appeared in, the very first thing in the opening of that issue
yeah, it was him.
is him fighting this guy. And this guy...
He was controlling people. Like,
yeah, and he made a monster out
Yeah.
of people, and they're all holding on each other, and they're smashing against each other.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
It was awesome.
And Mastermind was using it in the back of this trade, and the letters column. Kirkman was talking about how funny it was that in Brit he was using a CD player, and that's how much time has passed, because now he can just use an iPod or something. It's just on his belt. So yeah, anyways, Mastermind is fighting them. Mark defeats him by dropping rocks
from up above because
Yeah,
so that he couldn't mind control.
Yeah, he was.
from
That's
high up.
that's one of my favorite parts. Is that he was like super 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 high up out of his range, and he was dropping rocks. So we get what, Amber and Mark. Are they together or not together here?
Oh,
They're together. They're still together. But
is-
she's kind of being like really standoffish, and she's like, "Yeah, okay." Or, like he comes through the window, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm supposed to be up anyway." She's being like really standoffish and kind of like
Well, she's
very short with him.
yeah. She explains that she has a test today and everything, but Mark's like, "How about we go to Africa?"
And she's like, "Didn't you just hear me? I just said I had a test today. I can't just drop everything." What?
Africa?
What?
So they're gonna go to Africa to visit Eve.
And she even says, she's like,
Oh yeah.
she's like, I always thought that Eve had a thing for you, and he's like, no, like I don't think so.
Oh,
And then she's like, so you never had a thing for Eve? And he's like, no, of course not. And then kind of like you could tell he's lying.
Mm-hmm. Well, he says that she was always with Rex and then William, and I was with you. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And then they do it.
We see Rick Sheridan being a slave, a Reaniman to D.A. Sinclair. They arrive in Africa. Every panel of Africa is awesome. I love everything about this. This trade is so good.
Russ Livingston is watching TV and gets the idea to be a superhero.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shapesmith. So yeah. Eve explains that she made the house, that she's gotten better with her power, she's been practicing. Mark and Eve are super happy and in love, and Eve's like, this is gonna be fun.
She challenges it too. Like she's never gonna be able to. She kind of says she's never gonna be able to like relate to you because you're a superhero, and she's not. She's never gonna be able to understand this life. She references what I think that's the first issue of Invincible about looking up. She never looks up.
That's next
She's
issue.
one of the,
yeah. In the beginning of issue 32.
I'm on that page. Did I get ahead of us?
A little bit. That's all right.
All right.
But I do want to point out that, and I never made this connection, but in the letters column, Ryan Ottley talks about how his wife actually made the recommendation to flip the covers. So in issue 31, Eve is looking at Mark and Amber happily sitting there being a couple, and then in issue 31, Amber's the one sitting and watching Mark and Eve in their costumes being superheroes. So it's showing Mark in his two worlds while the other girl looks on. I don't know, just a neat little thing. Mm-hmm. But 32 starts with Mark training because Nolan told him he has to train more.
He's exercising.
Yeah, exercising. Yeah, that's what I meant. Eve has that. I mean, even Mark on the rooftop. This is such a great scene. They talk about how she uses her powers. Her turning leaves into coffee. She makes the joke about if she has leftover atoms, she ends up going to the bathroom several times a day.
I love this about Eve. Like she is.
This is peak Eve.
Would you say that Eve is attractive?
Yes, this is my favorite Eve. And she is so awesome in this.
So he says, so you're moving atoms around to make different things. Do you always use the same amount of atoms? I mean, is there anything ever left over? And she says, well, let's say on days I use my powers a lot, I can use the bathroom 6 or 7 times. I get to read a lot of books laughing. And then she's like, too much information? And Mark's like, a little bit. And it's so cute and like honest and earnest and carefree.
Carefree. Like she's just so relaxed. She's not, like she doesn't have
like,
any...
ooh, I don't talk about poop and stuff. Like
it's like she has no stress.
She's being her best self.
Yeah. And she's very happy. She's very happy.
She ain't no basic bitch.
So Mark explains everything that's going on with Oliver and his dad, and she asks how things are going with Amber, and she starts to, tense up a little bit. And this is, TJ, when
she challenges it.
Talking,
She's basically saying that, she can never relate to you because you're not a superhero. He talks about what they talk about in issue 1 when they first meet. They say, Eve talks about like that they're just going to fly away from the school when they first meet, and like in issue 1 or 2. And he's like, we can't do that. And she said, don't worry about it. No one ever looks up. And now she's saying Amber's one of those people that never look up. She'll never understand this world, basically. But then Amber looks up and sees and says, "Oh, there you guys are." Mm-hmm. And
just a Mark is like, on that.
Mark is like, "Yes, see, she may surprise you sometimes."
Mm-hmm. Shapesmith is out there fighting villains, street thugs.
Russ Livingston is now Shapesmith.
Yep.
And he's loving it.
Yeah. Eve and Mark and Amber are out. There's a stampede. Mark takes Amber back. I love this too because he flies her really fast, and she's like, can't breathe. She's like, damn it, Mark, you know I can't breathe when you fly that fast.
I hate that though. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it. But like, there's people that need to be saved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Mahler twins are still working on it.
Wow, there's a lot of Africa in here. Holy shit.
But this is it. Mark gets Eve gets a call while they're eating dinner, and she says it's for Mark. It's some man. And I love this little moment here. Mark's like, that's weird. Is it Cecil? And Amber's like, who's Cecil? Which is like, it's funny to think about because like Mark just got done saying, oh no, everything's good. We tell each other stuff, like everything. Like for in that second, Amber's like, who? And this is a major person in Mark's life. Anyways, someone on the other line of the phone, on the other end of the phone says, Mark, help. And Mark says, Mom? Somebody says, she's in trouble, Mark. How fast can you get home? For some reason right now, I'm hearing Mark Hamill.
Playing
Angstrom.
Cecil or Angstrom? Yeah, I can see that.
Wow, you know what? I can really
see
see that. It's almost Jokerish?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm so convinced he's playing a villain.
Yeah. Mark says, who was that? Or Eve says, who was that? Mark says, can you get Amber home tonight? And he takes off. He flies to his house, which is amazing that it goes from light to dark, obviously, because of where he is in the world.
Very smart.
And the last page is Angstrom sitting there with his hand around Debbie, who's holding Oliver, and Angstrom says, welcome home, Mark Grayson. I'm impressed you made good time. And on to my favorite issue of the entire series, issue 33.
Issue.
We've talked about it a bunch.
So it starts off, they're screaming at each other. Angstrom kind of reintroduces himself in anger because he doesn't feel like he
Mark
needs to.
doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, and that pisses him off even more. Like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, oh, you're that guy, and he's like, what do you mean that guy? He said, look what you did to me. Look at my head. Look what you did to me. He's like, you did this to me. He basically explains like what his power is. He said, I have a power, and I was just trying to improve it, and you ruined everything, which obviously isn't true. What Angstrom, like as we got from the last issue or the last
volume
trade paperback or the one before that, where Angstrom was actually good and was telling the Maulers to stop attacking him and to leave him alone, and then it was just an accident that the Maulers caused. And when Angstrom came to, he remembered it differently because he went crazy.
So Mark flies at him. He sends him to another dimension with talking dinosaurs. But when he pulls Mark back from that dimension, he's sitting there holding Oliver. He talks about how Oliver doesn't exist in any other dimensions and how interesting that is. Mark flies at him. He easily sends him to another dimension. This is the one with Spider-Man, where the Marvel team-up issue takes place. Then
I own this page.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I like this too. Like Angstrom, Debbie saying to Oliver, "It's going to be okay," and then he says, "I can't believe you would lie to him like that. What kind of mother are you? How could you tell him that? You don't know that for sure. You're in shock, aren't you? Like, are you sure you don't want to talk? I could use the company. Oh, forget about it. It's been long enough." And then he opens up the portal to bring Invincible back. Yeah. So he's just torturing Mark.
Yeah, and Mark's
he brings him back whenever he feels like it.
Mark's like, "Why are you doing this?" He's because Angstrom's threatening to open up a portal beneath Debbie and Oliver if he tries to hurt him. And Angstrom's just flat out saying, like, "I'm having fun. I'm going to kill you guys all anyways. I've waited for this.
I'm even going to hurt the boy."
Yeah. He sends him to like a zombie dimension. Debbie tries attacking Angstrom, and Angstrom breaks her arm. And then we see a lot of scenes with Mark being
with different characters
thrown through dimensions. We actually see Omnipotus.
We see a take on Batman, Walking Dead.
Yep. And then Mark eventually gets back to the house. He sees Debbie's broken arm, freaks out on Angstrom, and Angstrom mentions that the people who repaired him after the attack also healed him and made him stronger. So they fight through to multiple dimensions, eventually landing in a desert dimension where Mark
beats the shit out of him and basically backs away because he's like completely bloody.
There's
more
bits
or
of
less
brain
as
on his
far
knuckles.
as far as
yeah.
he believes, kills him, and he backs away and he says, "I thought you were stronger than that. Like he didn't know."
Mm-hmm.
Look at his hands. Look at his hands, his fingers, his wrists. There's a piece of brain on his cheekbone. Look at dude. Look.
Yep. And then the last page, this full page splash, him saying, "Oh God," and there's just blood everywhere. This is one of those
Holy shit moments.
Yeah, that we hadn't got in Invincible for a while. Issue 34. The cover is some of the Guardians really old. Eve is taking Amber back to the house. Mark is stranded in this desert dimension. He's talking to himself, telling himself that he had to do it. There was no other way. And now I'm stranded here. I'm going to die here. What you thinking about, Bill?
I'm just thinking about something that we talked about before, which further makes you believe that time travel is different dimensions that form, because this is an alternate time. Because Bulletproof, his face is normal. Obviously the Guardians are still alive. Knockout never made it to this old. Neither did Kid Thor.
Yep. Things, it branched another.
Right, it branched off. And,
the Mahler twins successfully transferred the brain from Rudy into the new Rex.
And then Rex immediately attacks them.
Well,
to take them to jail.
He allows him to kill him.
Here's the thing. And there are movies that do cloning like this, and I think that it's smart and also scary. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes. I don't know. Do we spoil that movie?
The Sixth Day?
No.
What did I say?
No, it's all right. I never actually seen Sixth Day.
The Magician movie.
I was going to talk about Prestige.
The Prestige. Yeah, so where now he cloned and transferred his consciousness into this other body, but he's still
him. Yeah.
So it's not.
So it's a trust. It's a trust that you will live on.
But you won't.
But you did wake up.
No, but you're still you in your body right now.
Yes, but when I closed my eyes opened twice,
but
and only one of them is thinking, and they start thinking on a new path.
Yeah, but in your mind, it's like you're still dying for another person.
No, they transferred consciousness. So in your mind, you were the one that closed your eyes and opened them again. But he's having the same thought.
No, you weren't. You died.
No.
Okay.
Both of them opened their eyes as though they had just closed them. Like, both of them opened their eyes thinking that they were previously Rudy. And both opened their eyes, except one of them's still Rudy and the other one isn't.
You, right now, as the original Ryan, will always be you.
Yes.
There's this other body over here, okay? You're not splitting your body in two.
No.
There's a second body over here, Ryan, that when you open it up, I'm touching you and my hand doesn't leave your body. You don't move, okay? You open your eyes, you're still you and you're going to die.
Yes.
But you're cloned over here and you're going to live on.
Yeah.
That's not you living
I agree. We're saying
you're
the
not
same
immortal.
thing. Yeah, we're saying the same thing. But if you went over to that Ryan and asked me anything, talked to me, I would have said, yeah, I just closed my eyes. I was right there. You just had your hand on me.
But you
just had your hand on me. But I am 100% in the mindset that I was.
Right, but you are a copy.
But I know.
But you, who is still sitting there laying on the bed,
but
are about to fucking die. Yeah. It's like you and your consciousness it's like you're dying for someone else.
Like, okay, so do you remember in Avatar, the movie Avatar?
Yes.
Where Jake Sully, how his body is broken and he transfers his consciousness into
the
Avatar body. How is that any different from this? I don't think that it's possible. Like in Altered Carbon, there's stacks where your memories and your consciousness is downloaded onto this disc,
I feel
and
like
you put
Avatar
it into a
is different
sleeve.
Because he closed his eyes and only one opened their eyes.
Okay, so
that's the difference.
Maybe that's the difference. So I would be okay with that scenario because that's physically me, like me as I am right now, and I'm just like transferring my whole life into another body.
That is one thing.
I don't like this.
This is scary.
This is scary, and I don't like it.
I know.
Okay.
I mean, it's also the same thing as the Mahler twins.
Yeah,
the Mahler twins do the same exact thing.
Yep. So yes, that happens. the young Rex now attacks the Mauler twins and said, "Oh no, I'm still sending you to prison. I'm sorry about that. I'm not beyond using villains to do work for me." Mark is stranded in the desert dimension. A portal opens up, and out of it comes old Guardians of the Globe, including old Eve, old Monster Girl, old Bulletproof Robot, Kid Thor, and Knockout. Mark said, "What happened to you?" They say they came from the future in which Mark has been lost for several years. They say 15 years, but they all look a lot older than 15 years older, but whatever. Mark, Robot opens the portal, and Mark goes to step through. Eve says, wait, Mark, I love you. I have loved you for a very long time. You need to know that. You have to know that I love you. I can't let you go without telling you. When you disappeared, I was heartbroken. I was in a bad place for a long time. I have to tell you. And Mark says, and she's like, don't tell me, tell her. Tell her you love her or you hate her or anything. Just tell her something so she can move on with her life. And then Mark leaves. Robot takes off his helmet as Eve says, shut up, Rex.
Because he says, what happened to us not destroying the timeline? What did you just do? You ruined the timeline. Which basically tells us, like, don't worry. That's not necessarily the future.
Yeah. Also a fun, interesting caveat or point or detail is that Monster Girl is wearing her gymnast uniform outfit, which is something that she will wear when she's older in the future of the series. Far, 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 far from now. It was an awesome callback that Ottley did. So yeah, the Maulers destroy that robot, but we learn that robot is just one robot, and Rudy is now in control of anything he wants as far as robots go. Mark explains to Cecil that he killed Angstrom. His mom and Oliver are okay. Then the final issue. We got this.
This is the final issue already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
Well, there's the Pact, but that's like...
No, we're not reading that yet. We're not going to go.
Okay. Issue 35 is, what's her name? April Howsam. It's Oliver's tutor, yeah. She shows up. Cecil sent her. She's going to monitor Oliver. Mark is fighting a villain called Rampage. Really cool looking. Ollie put a little billboard in the background that says
Sofa King.
Sofa King.
Call back to being in 5th grade and thinking that was hilarious.
Right.
Say this out loud, Sofa King.
Sofa King, low prices. Yep. Mark gets called away. Cecil introduces the real robot to the Guardians. Rex has an existential crisis. And then after some explaining, Robot, we just have to call him Robot. Robot tells young Monster Girl, this was all for you, He said he was enamored with her plight, and she inspired him, and he chose a form that she found attractive intentionally. And he says, I'm not
in love with you.
Yeah, I'm a genius. And she says, good, because I'm not attracted to children. You are cute, though. I guess we can hang out sometimes, so it won't look weird when the two of us are hanging out. And Robot says, Phase 2 is underway.
Well, it's weird that she would say, like, I'm not attracted to children, when the reason why he did that was because she made a comment. Together? No, she made a comment to Rexplode when he was walking away, saying it's not terrible to see you walk away, basically saying he has a nice ass.
Yeah.
But that's her, like, kind of hitting on a child.
But no, that was adult.
Rexplode was adult, like
how much younger is he? Is he that much younger than Rexplode?
Yeah,
he's
a kid. He's like 10, 12.
Yeah, I think Rexplode is out of high school. This is like a
Rex would have been in his first year of college, so he would have been 19, 20.
Okay, and she's 27. Is that what she is? She's in her
something
late
like that.
20s.
Yeah, but
she has you can be 27 and attracted to a
27, 28.
Yeah, but she has the body of a 12-year-old or whatever. And then we've got a long scene of Mark chatting with Art Rosenbaum. I love how he walks into the tailor shop and Art says that he's working on a costume, And Mark wants to see it, and he says, I'm afraid that's confidential, son. You'll have to wait and see it in action just like everyone else. This client is very particular. I don't know who that is. And I never thought to see if there was someone coming up in the series, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. It's kind of like a reddish-orange costume. So yeah, Mark says that he needs to have a girl talk with him. Not a girl talk, but a talk about girls. And he explains to him, and they basically come to the conclusion that he's with Amber, that's who he should be with, and that maybe eventually he'll find the guts, the time to tell Eve about what happened and, let her know so that, just like the future Eve said, you have to tell her something. So, but he says Amber deserves it. I should be with Amber. Yeah. And then there's a brief scene of Amber getting some guy's phone number. But then Mark says to Art, he said that my dad told me before, when I saw him last, that I should read his books. And Art explains to him that he didn't always write travel books, that he actually wrote some sci-fi.
Yep.
And so he gives Mark a couple books, one of which is about Space Racer, which is, I always call him Space Racer. Did you notice that? His name isn't Space Racer. Is it Space Racer? Because in this he calls him Space Rider.
Yeah, but I think it's about Space Racer.
Okay. So
Yeah,
in the book he changed it to Space Rider?
Rider.
Okay, because I panicked for a minute there. I'm like, all the Speed Racer jokes we make.
Oh, you thought it was like a
I
social
thought
construct?
I
or
thought
like
I just
a...
made
We
it.
brought it up specifically to Robert Kirkman, and he didn't correct us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Space Racer.
Yeah.
But I was like, back then I wasn't calling him Space Rider, was I?
Oh, I don't.
It was Space Racer.
Yeah,
All right.
it was always Space
Just
Racer.
they called him Space Rider here, and I started
No.
thinking that maybe that was it.
No.
So
you
yeah,
have me really doubting
right?
reality right now. Huh.
Anyways, and also the story about the Ragnars. Mark realizes, oh my God, these are books about him. These are things he did when he was out searching for things that can kill Viltrumites or finding new planets. So yeah, Nolan was telling Mark how to beat them.
You said Viltrumites.
I didn't. I said Viltrumites. I said Viltrumites. And then at the end of that, there is an issue of The Pact, which is really actually quite fun. I read through it. It just shows us that Doc Seismic is back and he is put in prison. That's
All
it.
right. I cannot believe we got through an entire volume.
This is the best volume yet. I love this volume. From everything with Africa to Angstrom Levy, to just, I thought even the Nolan book stuff was cool, especially looking back on it now. I'm curious to see whether or not something will beat this as far as my favorite volume. You know what I mean?
You think this is your favorite volume?
I'm saying up to now, this is
up
my
to
favorite.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, I just disagree.
Like as a whole, do you think which one is better so far?
2.
You like 2 better?
Yeah.
I think I like this one the most. So,
Oh.
What's coming up?
The next one's gonna beat it for me.
really? So
Oh
volume
my gosh,
8
this one is
next.
all fucking amazing. Rex
Really? Oh, it's Rex
Lizard
it's,
League. Oh, come on.
So it's,
Oh man,
so
tune
it's
into the
sequence.
fucking next one.
Sequence. All right. We don't have much time to talk about other stuff. So Spitfire, I thought Lego Movie 2 was just eh. I finally beat Kingdom Hearts. Thought it was very good. Started Dragon Prince. Haven't finished it yet. Season 2. TJ, did you read Ascender?
No, that's not coming out until April.
Damn it, I thought it was out.
No, not until April.
Okay.
It was originally announced for January and got pushed way back.
Really? I did read a new comic book called Die. It is by Image Comics.
I
Have
see
you
that
seen
a lot because
Really?
I always think it's Die, Die, Die.
Really?
I see it a lot.
I do see that too.
It is really cool. It is basically like a Jumanji type thing, but instead of going into like a traditional board game, you're sucked into a RPG, like a Dungeons and Dragons type board game.
Very cool.
Very cool. Thought it was really good. It's only 3 issues in. I recommend that. Have you guys been reading or watching anything else? Billy, you said Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 3 was just okay.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed. It has a 91 or in the 90s, and I don't think that it deserves that. I think it reminded me very much of like the episodes of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, which was just
I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Have you been playing any video games?
I played and beat Metro.
Really? Jeez, already?
Exodus, yeah.
All right. Was it good?
It was very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been
TJ?
rewatching a lot of stuff. I've rewatched Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're going to go on to Korra soon, which I'm excited about because I think I've only watched
When it happened?
once.
The first time
I
through.
might have watched the first season twice.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, getting ready for
shit.
the final season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a pretty. That's
Oh,
a lot of what
Barry.
I'm doing.
Barry comes out at the
You
end of
recommended
March.
that a while ago. It's
The
still
second
good?
season is coming out.
Oh, okay.
Santa Clara to Die comes out at the end of March.
Dude, Barry comes out, which is fucking awesome. It has what's his name? Forte.
Yeah.
No, not Forte.
No, he's the
No,
he's the
it's-
cop from Superbad.
And caught it with Chance of Meatballs. What the
Yeah.
fuck is his name?
Header.
Bill Hader.
Bill
Bill Hader. So second season comes out. Santa Clara to Die comes out in March. Like, there's so much coming out. But yeah.
Cool.
that's-
We'll talk about everything we've watched next episode. This song, this month's episodes, whatever, outro song is also by Wyatt Layne. It is called Forward. You can find his music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. I think that's it. We did it, guys. Good job.
Hooray!
Congratulations. That was a big episode.
And you know what? Rightfully so, because most of it was spent on Dinosaurus.
A lot of it was spent on Dinosaurs and the animated series.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like there's stuff we got to talk about. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank
Good
you for
night.
listening.
Bye.
Bye.
And also, goodbye.
Bye.
Phil, say something.
Say something, I'm giving up on poo.